Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I got this really easy and kind of glam back to school makeup look. It's just simple and easy, but it's just like enough that you still feel just really put together and pretty. And I remember my biggest complaint in high school with my makeup was that I couldn't get it to last. So I show you some products and some tips and tricks that are just really easy, don't take that much time, but it'll just really help extend kind of the life of your makeup. So I hope that you enjoy and maybe learn a few tips and tricks. And if you are interested in seeing how I got this look, then please just keep watching. Thanks! Okay, to get started, the very first thing you want to do is, before you even do any of your makeup, is, and I know I talk about this a lot, but skincare. It's so important. So trust me, I remember being in high school, it's like you didn't want to like wake up any earlier than you had to. Waking up early sucks. I tried to kind of give shortcuts and stuff for in the morning ways to save time on everything. So best case scenario, you'd get up and wash your face in the morning. Worst case scenario, get up and at least go over with like a micellar cleansing water. If you don't have time to wash your face, at least go over this. Go over your face, put a little bit on a cotton round, and go over your face with one of these. This is just going to help really get a lot of the grime off of your face, and just kind of like at night when your skin releases toxins, and just, I mean, it just does a lot at night. I mean, that's kind of when your skin is healing and stuff, so you want to just really get off everything from the night before. And this is going to prevent breakouts from happening throughout the day too, if you can just at least start with a clean, a nice clean and refreshed face. And it feels good. It'll kind of wake you up. It's nice and cooling. Okay, next thing I would recommend is to go in with a moisturizer. Even if your skin is oily, in fact, especially if it's oily, this will really help to give it a little bit of moisture, and then that way it won't have to like overproduce oil to compensate for lack of any kind of moisture on your face. So go in, if you have oily skin, just go in with like maybe a water-based moisturizer or like a gel type moisturizer. Get something that's oil-free so it's nice and light on your skin. If you have dry skin, you can go a little bit heavier with the moisturizer. Kind of just get a moisturizer depending on your skin type. Today I'm just going to use this Olay Complete one. It's got a little bit of sunscreen in it, which is nice. And I'm going to mix that with a teeny bit of my benzoyl peroxide acne treatment gel to kind of prevent any acne from happening throughout the day. So I just mixed those two together. Having a nice moisturizer and moisturizing your face is going to act like just like a primer for your skin too, so you don't have to spend as much time on your foundation, and it'll just make it look so much better all day long. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with foundation. Obviously tailor this whole video to what you do and what like preferences you like. If you don't wear foundation, completely skip it. I've always kind of liked makeup. I've always worn makeup, so it's something I've always taken the time for in the mornings to do. And my skin is always something I've had issues with, so foundation is like never really something that I skipped personally. But if you don't need it, a really good option, if you do just want to like maybe even out your skin tone a little bit, would be to mix a little bit of foundation or even like a BB cream. You could use something like that, or mix your foundation with a little bit of moisturizer. Just kind of rub that in. That'll just give you like a teeny bit of coverage, and it'll just kind of even out your skin tone a little bit. So if you don't need a lot of coverage, those are some really good options. A foundation though that I recommend kind of for anyone that's really for like all skin types pretty much, is the Maybelline Fit Me matte and poreless. They also have a luminous and glowy or something that's more for like dry skin to give it some life back. I wouldn't recommend doing something too like glowy and stuff for school, just because you really want it to like dry down and matte down, because during the day it's like, I know when you're in class you'll sit like this, or you know, it's just like you don't want to worry about your makeup sliding around your face. So I would recommend, even if you have dry skin, to still get, you know, use a good moisturizer, but then don't like be over the top with a glowy foundation, just because you don't want to be worrying about it in school. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this foundation, dot it around my face. Sure that you get it down your neck. That's going to just really keep things a lot more natural looking. And then get a sponge or a brush and work that foundation into your skin. They make really affordable brushes and sponges, and so it's just, I don't know, it's like there's just really no excuse, I don't think, for not using a brush for your foundation. Just because your hands, it's like they're full of bacteria. They don't need to be just rubbing all over your face and depositing like the oils that are on your fingers and stuff, they don't need to be depositing that all over your face. So just spend a couple bucks. e.l.f. makes some really good ones, really good brushes. There's really affordable sponges anywhere. So just invest and get something to put and to blend your foundation in with. Okay, and then you can kind of evaluate from there. Always start with like one thinner layer and then go, and then if you want to add a little bit more, just add it a little bit by little bit more at a time until you feel like you're comfortable with it. But definitely don't overdo your foundation. If you do have a blemish, I would suggest getting a concealer for that instead of just piling more and more foundation on. And really just blend that foundation right over your eyelids too. It'll just kind of even that out also. And I'm not going to show you any steps that I wouldn't have done during my high school years. So these are things that I did when I was going to high school. These are the steps that I would take. So I'm going to not show you like anything extra and whatever. I'm just going to show you kind of things that I would do myself when it was like worth my time to get up early, you know, to get ready. Okay, I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer. I have a couple blemishes. I'm going to use the Come Correct Wet n Wild Concealer. And just with your finger, just kind of dot that over any blemishes that you might have that your foundation didn't cover. And then just use your sponge or brush or whatever, just kind of make sure that that gets blended in. Okay, even in high school, I always put some concealer under my eyes. I just love the look of that gave. It just kind of makes you look not so dang tired, and I was always exhausted in high school, but because it's like, you know, I'm sure you guys do too. It's like you stay up late all the time just because, you know, 12:30 doing homework, studying, and then you freaking gotta get up so dang early too, so you never get enough sleep, I'm sure. But I always loved the look of putting a little concealer under my eyes just to kind of brighten up everything. I can't remember what concealer I used in high school, but I think it was one of those stick concealers. But honestly, I think those are harder to blend out, so I would actually recommend a more like liquid concealer of just something really light and kind of watery. So I'm gonna use and also recommend the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. And if you are going to do a concealer, like, you really don't need that much, so just do a little bit. You want to put like the most of it right in that corner. You'll kind of see that's like where kind of darkness happens. And you just want to put, like, just put a few little dots on. You don't need a lot. That's the only area that I would worry about brightening and concealing for school. And then use your sponge, or you can pat this out with your finger if you like to. And then again, just kind of bring this right up onto your eyelid and just make your eyelids look really pretty and just already give them a nice base. And then in high school, I'm pretty sure that I used the same powder all over just to set everything. So I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder. Just any kind of powder that you like will work. And I just, again, I like to set everything so I'm not worrying about it like sliding around my face. And just use like a big brush and just give everything a nice like light coat of powder, just so that you make sure it's going to stay in place all day. Make sure to set the areas that you put your concealer. Powder is something that I kept with me at school too, just for touch-ups. That was kind of the one thing I felt like I liked to have around for touch-ups, and maybe some like a lip product, but those are the kind of, if I wanted to touch up anything, those would be the two areas maybe that I'd want to touch up. Okay, so now let's move on to the eyes, and then we'll kind of go back and finish the face. So something I didn't do in high school, well, maybe I started to right at the end of high school actually, was my eyebrows. Like, they were not really a thing a few years ago, and so eyebrows are kind of like a newer trend to have. But I think towards the end of my high school years, as you can see, it's like I kind of have some eyebrows at the front, but then it's just like they just like go completely blonde at the end. So I remember I would just like fill in a little bit of right at the ends of like where my eyebrows just stopped. But now I would just recommend like kind of just brush through your eyebrows. Brush them upwards, kind of get them pointing in the right direction. Eyebrows will do so much for your face. They'll just frame it and give it so much structure without even like doing anything. So that's definitely something that I would recommend doing now, is making sure that your eyebrows, and see if you already have eyebrows and it's like you actually look like you have eyebrows already, then I would just comb through them, spray a little bit of hairspray on like a spoolie brush like this, and just kind of run it through them just to hold them in place. My eyebrows do need a little bit of work, so I'm just going to grab this pencil. Just grab any pencil, or even like a brown powder that you would use for, you know, an eyeshadow powder, and just give them a teeny, just kind of fill in the sparse areas. So I'm just going to kind of fill in the ends is where most of mine need the help. I think this pencil that I'm using is from like Forever 21. But the drugstore has tons of them. So you can find an affordable brow, or like I said, just use an eyeshadow. It's like a powder, and just fill any sparse areas in that you need to. And for the most natural look, just focus all of your product kind of on the outer parts of your eyebrows, and you don't need to worry so much about like the inside corners. If you are going to do the inside, just do it with a really, really light hand, because you want your inside to be lighter than the outside of your brows, and that's going to give you the most natural and kind of like feminine look. Sometimes if you get like too much color and stuff in that front part of your eyebrows, it can look really like manly. So that's a way that you can still like have really put together looking brows without them looking over the top. So again, you can either throw a little bit of like hairspray on with a spoolie and just kind of run it through to hold them in place, whatever you need to do. Everyone's brows are different, so if you already have awesome brows, that's super lucky. Just kind of run through them with a brush, or just take a minute and fill them in a little bit. But brows are very, very important. Okay, so for eyes, this again is a totally preference thing. You could do nothing at all on your eyes. I mean, especially if you just put a little bit of concealer, it just kind of evens out your skin tone. It just gives them a pretty color to kind of begin with. So if you didn't even want to do anything with your eyes, you totally wouldn't have to. Just put on a little mascara and be good to go. But I like to do, I remember in high school I loved to use these. These are the Color Tattoos by Maybelline, and they hold so well. They're so easy just to use and work with, so I really enjoyed these. So I'm just going to show you how I kind of would use this. This is in the color Pink Gold, and this is a pretty lid color. I'm just putting a little bit on my fingertip, and just put a little bit right onto your eyelid. And it's like with these, they require like no blending. So it's like you can take 2 seconds and just give your eyes a teeny bit of sparkle. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. And as you can see, I just put a little bit of that on just right with my finger. You don't need to go and blend it forever. They just basically blend themselves. Just kind of pat it around with your finger. So as you can see, it's like such little work, but it just gives like a nice little sheen to your eyes. Just kind of keeps things bright and awake, gives a little just pop of something. So I really loved like shadow sticks and things like that during high school, things that would just last forever. Because sometimes with just powders, it's like to make an eyeshadow powder, you know, like a powder eyeshadow, regular eyeshadow to stay, it's like you have to put a primer on, you have to do all these things to make them really pop, and you got to blend them. So I loved these quick, easier methods. So like these were a good option, the one I just showed you. They make lots of colors of those. The Rimmel makes these, like these Scandal Eyes sticks that look like this. I think, what's this one? I've got a lot of them. NYC makes some. Kind of a bronze one would be pretty. They also make them the same thing in this form, in pencil form. And you just literally color it on, blend it out a little bit with your finger, and you're good to go. So they're just so easy to work with. They make them that look like this. In fact, we'll put on a little bit of this one, this brown one, this Color Tattoo. I'll just kind of show you how I would use that. I would put a little bit in the outer corner. And just kind of pat it around with your finger. And I loved cream shadows in high school just because they lasted so much better than a regular powder eyeshadow. When you didn't want to like take the time and put on a primer and everything, they just lasted through the whole day. You wouldn't end up with like those weird eyeshadow crease lines that I remember I used to get all the time when I wouldn't. And I finally found these, and I'm like, okay, this was a game changer. It made everything just quick and easy. And they just last forever. You don't got to worry about them creasing up during the day or anything like that. They are a really great base though too. I mean, if eyeshadow is something that you love to do, then put your eyeshadow on top of them and you'll love it. I mean, they're just such a great product, and I've always loved makeup, so I always did eyeshadow and stuff. That's something I've just always enjoyed doing. So I remember I would always use like this light champagne color base. I would put that all over my eye, and then I would just like put a little bit of a of eyeshadow on top of it, you know, maybe put a little something in my crease or my outer corner, and it would just hold the eyeshadow on all day. So I love those products. Maybelline also, they make really nice little quads like this if you do want to get an eyeshadow and, you know, actually do some powder in that. I love Maybelline's eye products. They make really great products. And then just to kind of show you, I'm just going to grab from this little Maybelline palette. I'm just going to put, and then just kind of any fluffy brush, just put a little bit of like those medium tone colors. And you can just kind of put those through your crease, a little bit on the outer corner. And it's just going to really like put together your whole eye look. And it just takes 2 seconds. I mean, once you find colors you like, it'll just take an extra 2 seconds and just give your eyes a really pretty look. So eyeliner, I did like to do eyeliner every day in high school, but it's definitely not necessary. So that's totally a personal preference thing if you're gonna wear eyeliner or not. Some people just like find their shape that they like of liner and they just stick to it, like that's what you do every day. So just do whatever you normally do with eyeliner. A lot of people don't wear it. I'm not going to worry about wearing it today, but I am just going to put a little bit in my upper waterline. Just because this makes your eyelashes look so thick. And dark, and it doesn't let any kind of skin like peek through anywhere. Okay, next step is going to be mascara and eyelashes. I would recommend to absolutely everyone to curl your lashes. It just makes the biggest difference in the world when they're curled versus not curled. It'll just open up your eyes so much if you have curled lashes. If you have naturally curly lashes, that's so lucky. You can just put on mascara. But yeah, that's something I would definitely recommend just because it opens your eyes so much. I really love this eyelash curler. This is the one from Revlon. And then just go in with your favorite mascara. I really like pretty much anything by Maybelline I like. This is the Falsies Push Up Drama Mascara. And with your mascara, it's important to get most of it right at the roots of your lashes and not so much just the tips. But you want to really focus on getting it into the roots. So set it right up against those roots and then just wiggle it on through. And tilt your head back when you're doing it in your mirror so that it doesn't get on your eyelids. Okay, and then as far as under your eyes go, that's another thing that's really like a personal preference thing. I will make a couple suggestions though. I would not recommend going in with a black eyeliner and lining under your eyes. That's just too harsh, especially during the day. It's just like that's not really anything you need to be doing during school. If you do want to add some darkness down there, I can totally understand that. I would just recommend switching to an eyeshadow. And then that way you can make sure it's nice and blended too. So I'm just going to grab this Maybelline Eye Studio little quad again, and I'm going to get that darkest color, that darkest brown, on just this little teeny brush. And then you want to start at the outer corners. And you just bring it in like maybe halfway if you want to bring something under your eyes. And then kind of wipe off the excess. And really blend, because this is the most important area if you're going to wear eyeshadow that needs to be blended. But again, wearing stuff under your eyes, totally personal preference. Another pretty eyeshadow tip that it doesn't take any time at all, but it has a lot of payoff, is to get a light color in whatever quad you're using. So that very lightest white. And just put that right on the inner corners of your eyes. And that's just going to bring so much lightness and attention to your eyes and just make you look bright and fresh eyes and just awake, ready to go. And honestly, it's hard to overdo that. You can put a lot of lightness right there and have it still look good. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of mascara now to my bottom. Okay, so now eyes are done, so let's just hop back over and finish the rest of the face. Okay, so for face makeup, after you've kind of let everything sit and dry and everything set with powder now, the two products I would recommend wearing would be blush and bronzer. So bronzer, I really love these ones by Wet n Wild. This one's in Toast to You, and they'll last you forever because they're so big, they're really affordable. I would definitely recommend these, and they just blend so well. And then just get some kind of like an angled fluffy brush like this. Just dab it in there and kind of tap off the extra. And run this along your cheekbones. And you don't want to get any darkness in this area, or else it'll start to kind of look like a beard. So just keep it above that area. And like you want the heaviest amount of product to be kind of back towards the temple, so kind of start there and then blend it, you know, kind of downwards. And then you can bring it, like bronzer looks good along the whole perimeter of your face. So you can just kind of bring it up along all of your forehead. I always love to bring it down my neck. And then once there's like no more product on your brush, just kind of go back through and make sure it's blended. Just kind of run over everything one more time. Or the next thing for your face I would do is put on a little bit of blush. e.l.f. makes some really cute ones. This one is a little bit shimmery anyways. This is in the color Koi. Just grab some other kind of fluffy brush. And just give your face a little bit of color. A little bit of shimmer if you like shimmer. Okay, and then the last step is going to be your lip product. And again, for school, you just want something that's like really, like you don't want to be fussing about anything lipstick-wise, so you don't want anything like too... I usually didn't like to wear anything that was like too bright or too daring, just because it's like, again, I said, you know, you're kind of be like that, and you just don't want to, you don't want to worry about it, you don't want it to smear. So some ones that I recommend is the Revlon Balm Stains. They look like this. They feel like a chapstick, but they just give a little bit of color to your lips and some moisture. So they're like really easy. You don't even really need a mirror to put them on. So something kind of like that just gives like a hint of color is going to be a good option. Another one that I really like are these NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. And these are a little bit more pigmented, but these will kind of just dry down to like a matte-ish finish. Like not crazy matte, but they'll kind of dry down so that you're not worried about them being glossy or like your hair getting stuck in them or anything weird like that. Back in high school, I had these in so many colors. I loved them. Today, I'm going to use the shade, Honey. They're just really hydrating. They smell minty, so I really love those and would recommend them. Okay, and then I always recommend a finishing spray. e.l.f. makes a really great one. I think it's either $3 or $6. I want to say it's $6, but this will just set your makeup and make it last all day long. So just spray a little bit of that on. Okay, this is the finished look. I wish that I would have worn looks more like this in high school. I'm sure I always wore way too much makeup and I always like have brought the drama. I've kind of always been that makeup person, but thinking back, like we had 0 windows in my high school, and so it was just all that really like unflattering fluorescent lighting, and I'm sure I had way too much of everything on, and so I'm sure it was a disaster. So if I could go back, I would hope that I would do something more like this, but probably not. You guys know I'm all about my smoky eyes and wing liner and lashes, so I don't know. But anyway, I do love these kind of natural looks. I think this would be a perfect look for school. I still feel kind of glam and put together, but it's nothing that you're going to be worrying about, you know, oh, I need to see a mirror, do I need to touch up anywhere? It's just like a really easygoing look. It's products that are going to just really last all day long, so you don't have to worry about them moving around that way. And I remember too, like before I would start using, like before I did kind of do moisturizers and things like that and like find a better foundation, it's like where, you know, in a few hours I'd be like, where did my foundation go? Like it's gone. I put some on and it's not here anymore. Where's my coverage? You know, like it looked awesome for the first couple hours, but then after that it just was gone. And same with my eyeshadow. So it's like I wanted to recommend some products and things to you guys that would help your makeup last all day long without looking like too much. Because if you are going to put the time in to do it, I mean, you want it to last, you want it to look good throughout the day. So anyways, I hope you picked up some tips and tricks. I hope you enjoy your school year and enjoy being glam. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!